All right, here we go.
And what is up, you guys? We are Views from the Dungeon. This is your DM, Aaron Raphael Amin. We got our boys over here, as always, and girl. I'm using boy as a gender neutral term out here. Shouts out to Mr. WEN, Wendell Riley Holst. Mr. Ryan Brown Comic Art. He's doing some art over there, living to his name. We got Ohio Hex, good morning, even though it's the afternoon. We have Mr. Mowgli IQ being smart, beaming in just like one of those supervillains who are just like, they show up as the boss on the monitor. Stone behind the scenes. First things first. Very sorry for the technical difficulties. Wild stuff has been happening today. Wild stuff's going to be happening in the campaign. There's no such thing as a coincidence. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but we're up and we're happy to be here with you. It's the magic. Are you guys feeling it? Does it feel magical?
I fucking guess.
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
And I do. We're a little late on this because we took a break, but I kind of want to address the whole Roe v. Wade thing. I do think it's really unfortunate that our Supreme Court has been making these kind of decisions that feel like they don't have the people in mind. So please, all the people in your life that may be able to get pregnant or just kind of have to deal with this decision here, like, do your best to support them. Donate to your local orgs. We're going to throw one up on our Instagram in the next coming days just to make sure that we can support just all the people that we love and everyone who's around us. So I did want to address that. Can't really, there's an elephant in the room. I'm not going to ignore it. But that being said, we have some pretty interesting problems to do with ourselves as a party.
We give a quick shout out to RBG. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Rest in power.
Okay.
Let's hope our characters today aren't resting in any power.
Oh my god.
I believe, Kane, we have you on recap today. What's going on?
All right. Yeah. So last time we finished our travels through the Badlands. Well, at least to the followers of Tuhanu. Met a fellow there who's leading that bunch named Konua. He's a little brash, a little worse for wear in the face, but seems decent enough. He took an interest in the orb that I've been carrying, and I think he wants it, and I don't really trust him that much for that. After some talking with me, he decided he was going to come with us. And maybe to the party's anguish, that I don't know how much they really feel in Konua coming with us, but so it is, so it shall be done. We moved towards the forest where the green elves are, and on our way there we saw some of the finest riding a creature I've never seen before, big, a horn, and we decided we'd go around as to not have to tussle with the finest in the forest. As we were going around, Isid decided to scatterhead, jumped up into the trees, looking for something that was making a big booming sound. As he moved through, he found a clearing. It was destroyed, branches everywhere, some trees toppled, and a little burnt. And tracks that seemed somewhat familiar to him as perhaps a giant. We decided to call it for the day and take a rest. And we moved back towards the beach. And when we got there, there was swirling orbs and motes of light. We found ourselves in the middle of the forest and a magical storm.
Staring into the night sky, you see a turbulence of color, blues, purples, greens, reds, all roiling inside these bulbous nebulous clouds that shift throughout the atmosphere. You see the ocean in front of you slowly pushing and pulling the waves back. And with that, the shifting of the night sky you see so clearly reflected in the water, almost as if you could jump in it and find yourself falling from the stratosphere. You look around and turning towards the redolent wood, you find that the same red spiny trees shift ever so, almost like a shivering, almost like a foil of reality is slowly coming undone. The leaves change from spiny branches to the leaves of a flat palm and back. You see lights dipping in and out between the trunks and then vanishing as soon as they appeared, leaving you in this strange, eerie darkness that is absent of the natural green light of the moon normally presiding over the Badlands. You see Nonnery writing in his book, eyes wide with wonderment, smiling, just taking everything in. Is everything they said it would be? I must say, my friends, I am glad you have brought me this far. However, and he turns to the northwest, where you see, standing above the beach, a cliff face rising higher into the sky, and the silhouette of what looks to be the ruins of a once mighty castle, reaching its ways, or hoping to reach its way back to the sky where it once used to claw. Nonnery turns back. That is the heart of our quest. Hopefully we can get there tomorrow. So, shall we set up camp?
I think so.
Understood. Well, I will be up recording. If one of you wouldn't mind, I would like to maybe get more evidence of what is happening in the forest nearby.
Yeah.
What do you mean, if we don't mind?
Well, I mean, you are all free to camp and relax and do what it is you will. However, I don't think I can go in there alone.
How long are you planning on staying out there?
Hopefully, not too long at all.
I'm not very perceptive. Maybe Ersid would be a good partner for something like this.
And Kanawa steps up and he's like throwing his bag on the ground and just kind of looking around. Then he puts his hands on his hips and he shoots a large load of snot out into the ground. Yeah, I'll be happy to help, mate. As far as perception goes, I happen to be kind of a professional.
Oh.
Long as I noticed, we had a conversation back there.
Sure.
No one else noticed the dragon speaking out there in the moor. I did.
Right.
Yeah, but I bet you can't see very well at night.
I got ears.
Do you?
Sorry.
Yeah, does he, or did
Yeah.
you cut those off too?
You see that there's definitely he has ears, but they're sort of pointed. If anything's been cut, it's been like the top arch to
right.
perform more of a point.
Right. Yeah, nice ears. Really good.
Thank you.
Not as
It's
good as
myself.
mine, but you did it yourself.
Is that?
Really well done.
It is, mate.
Okay.
I don't want him to go. I don't know how to say it. I'm just like,
Nah,
Hey,
let him
sorry,
go.
I had to turn my fan off. Is Kanawa gonna go with?
He's proposing. He goes. Nonnery, you see, he's kind of looking around and he's shivering a little bit, and he's definitely keeping his distance away from Kanawa. But he's like, if that's okay. With
you
with
don't have to do anything you're not comfortable with.
Well, I
Well,
I
you know,
did ask.
Kanawa, it's really okay. I'll do it. You know, I wanted to talk to Nanori about something anyway.
Well, fine then. I'll get us some grub cooking, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, great! I can't wait to taste whatever that is.
Me either, mate. We got some good stuff here. Hey, feel free to leave your rations out. I'd like to get a little experimental.
Okay.
Uren does not leave his rations out.
Got some horse bones laying out.
And so he starts setting up. He does make it a point to camp roughly like 30-ish feet away from you guys. Him, Branch, and Ice Scale all set up their own little camping ground. You hear their fire going on. You see he's kind of like working on a stew. So, Ersid, you're going with Nonary?
Yeah, I'm doing my good deed for the day.
Respect. You both head out into the nearby forest of the redolent wood. And even close by to these trees, you can kind of see them sort of, it's almost like a slow wave pulsing up from the roots and up through the branches, as if you can see them feeding on whatever nutrients are about. The magic is giving you some sort of vision into the inner workings of the world. You see a myriad of endemic life about, whether that be squirrels or rodents, bugs, and things like that. And you notice some strange effects of them. A beetle you would say you were pretty familiar with has much larger wings extending out of its shell. They're striped, and the stripes change colors almost as if a rainbow is coursing through them. Some of the squirrels have two tails that when they get scared, they perk up straight back into one as they relieve themselves and rush back into the forest. Nonary takes notes.
So, Nonary, is this everything that you were expecting? I mean, look at this place. It's a goddamn science experiment.
It is an experiment, one that I am happy to be privy to. As far as expectations, well, I had none, so this is amazing. And he starts getting up closer to the trees, and you can see as his hand tries to press against them, his hand starts to do the same sort of waving motion as if it's being distorted by a mirage of light. He pulls his hand back and pushes closer and finally touches the tree. Things are never as they seem as he courses his hand up. Now, we just need to find out what is causing all of this. However, this doesn't match my previous reports from, well, my contact here. Things are a little different.
How so?
It's larger. This area being interacted with by this magical field is... It was not reported to be extending this far outside of Ilhayat itself. It was supposed to be contained into Tomomori.
So do you think that this magical bubble of magical mutations is growing? It's getting bigger in surface area?
All the data points to that, yes.
Well, I could see that could be a problem, you know, for the rest of the world. I mean, who knows how big will it get, right?
Well, I guess once we find the source, we may have a better understanding. However, Tomomori is merely half a day's journey away from our current position. And if it was localized there and it's grown half a day in, we'll say, a couple of months, it's not a quickly creeping expansion, thankfully. However, if we don't stop it, who's to say that it won't be infinite?
Hey, you don't think that we can get like radiation poisoning or something from this all this energy and stuff, right? Like, is it gonna affect our blood and our DNA?
And he kind of looks at you and he raises an eyebrow and he starts to look at his notes and he's looking at these trees. These trees, these rodents, these animals here, they have changed. So,
Hey, that's what I'm concerned about.
but we do not know how long they have been enveloped in this energy. So it could be a matter of time. It could expose itself in a myriad of ways. But I fear that I would be lying if I say we are not in any danger of some sort of metamorphosis.
Okay.
As you kind of look around, you're doing your rounds, sort of keeping an eye on Nonnery and the surrounding perimeter to make sure nothing is sneaking up on you. You see deep into the forest, roughly 50, 60 feet away, a pair of eyes glinting in the light, solid. You can't really make out the body attached to them, but you can tell it's some sort of quadrupedal creature, roughly 6 feet or so in height. And you can see the silhouette of what look to be large branching antlers raising from where they meet the top of the eyes. Just keeping eye contact with you.
Nonary,
Ashley?
do you see that in the distance? Oh,
Yeah.
60 paces.
He squints his eyes. I do. Has it been watching us for long?
Well, ever since I noticed it, it's been watching us. Looks like an animal. Well, whatever you can call an animal in this energy. I think it's best that, we let it do its thing and they'll let us do ours.
Well, I'm being sure, and like as you say this, Nonnery is trying to speak, and it starts to step closer out of the bramble. You can hear the sound of heavy hooves clanking against soft dirt. Small motes of dust kick up, and as they do and get closer to this creature's face, they sparkle like glitter falling from a star, and you get a small semblance of its face, much like a deer. And as it gets closer and closer, its branched horns start to kind of phase through the trees. They are large and writhing as these soft brown tendrils start to wisp in the air and sort of point at you as it starts to walk closer. Its fur is this strange, like grayish green color, as if it had a mane of moss crawling across its back, slowly approaching.
Well, Nanari, this looks like, it's quite big. I don't think that I could take it down quickly all by myself. So I think that we should back up and you just follow my directions, okay?
And you turn and you see Nonnery is already like a good 10, 15 paces away from you, taking notes and keeping an eye on the creature, but you could tell he's, I agree, Ersid. Maybe we should head back to the camp.
Alright, let's make our way slowly, as to not startle this creature.
Are you keeping eye contact with this creature?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and like keep eye contact as I'm kind of slowly backing up.
All right. And it sort of it keeps walking closer at the same pace as you recede.
That's okay. As long as it's not gaining on me, then I'm gonna just keep going back.
And your thoughts start to get jumbled. You
Oh, great.
hear voices. Noreste. Nani. Kondenewa. Gets closer. What languages do you speak?
I speak Common, Elvish, Giant Orc, Sylvan, Thieves' Cant, Undercommon.
You understand these words to be some sort of mix of Sylvan and Elvish. And they speak to you in a jumble of words, no clear sentences. Home, fear, why, origin. What is it that you seek? And at that sentence, it's almost like static begins to fill your brain. You look out and the world is a blur. And as that settles, the deer is gone.
And I imagine that I've had my hand out, kind of, you know, like I'm a raptor trainer, you know. And I'm backing up, and as it disappears, then I just like look around, kind of quickly zipping between like trees. Then I turn around and I look at Nanari.
It rang.
Was he looking?
Yeah. Is it? Are you
Did you hear that?
here? What?
Someone was speaking.
Is it? No, I did not hear any words myself. Is everything all right?
I don't know. I think we should go back.
Very much ahead of you on that idea. As he steps back and you make your way back to camp. Is there anything the rest of you were doing as Nanari and Airsid explored the nearby wood?
Kane's just sitting by the water, playing his violin. Somber.
Somber as you hear these dulcet tones just carry across the waves. And it's strange that at random intervals, the plucks and pulls of your violin as you strum, some echo, some are dulled, and at points you can see notes pushing out into the water. And as they go off into the distance, you see nearing the horizon what looks to be a figure, robed, clad in black flowing garb, standing there. What about the rest of you?
Uren's probably gonna, like, he's heard about how spells go awry, so he, what spell would I be trying out? I don't know, probably just simple things like prestidigitation or control flames. Like, he's just kind of going through different cantrips to see, like if something happens or how the wild magic field affects them. Like, he'll keep a distance from everyone else in case it goes nuclear. But yeah, so he's like kind of trying to see if he can get a feel for that.
And just to be clear, is Connie out and about?
Yeah, she's just kind of.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure she wasn't in the demi-plane. So you're casting these different cantrips here and there. Every once in a while, you'll cast prestidigitation. And the what kind of effect are you mainly doing with prestidigitation?
Prestidigitation, let's say, I know, like, I like to think that he's not, like, really casting for an effect. Like, he's just kind of drawing just the little circular glyph in the air to see what happens. Like, he might go for something like the sensory effects, like sparks or sounds and whatnot.
So you begin to trace these glyphs in the air, and as you move to complete a full circular motion, the glyph itself bends inward and begins to spiral as your prestidigitation forms a sort of a cube that just kind of courses about. And it starts to morph into a more amorphous shape and taking different forms as different polyhedral creations, spheres, triangles, pyramids, cylinders. And every time it does, you'll see a flash of light or a smell comes by, a scent of lands forgotten. You feel your past coming clear. The smell of like fire and brimstone assaults your nostrils, as well as the scent of a well-kept yet old piece of knowledge, books. And finally, you see the arcane text that creates these spirals begin to flip and change from inside the spiral, reaching out towards the outside. And you see the words, "You're finally here. Good job." And Conira, as you read that, feels elated as she begins to fly and circle around you and perches on your shoulder.
Yeah, he kind of absentmindedly just reaches up and gives her scritches just like as he's doing this. And
as you see this, go ahead and roll perception for me.
Perception. That's going to be a 5.
That's a 5. And you staring out into the wood, you hear the sound of branches cracking and the soft wind blowing through the trees. But you can't find the source. Narissa.
She will look out at, like, the waves. Is it like, I mean, it's dark. She can see a little bit. Is there, like, those weird little lights, like, reflecting against the water?
Absolutely.
Okay, she'll, like, pull all of the things out of her hair and, like, stick her glaive in the sand and go jump in to the ocean. Go for a swim at night. Maybe if she returns to where she was kind of, like, brought here, she can feel something in this place.
I want you to make a general charisma check, please. As you step out, you feel what you expect to be the cold touch of the water's grasp. And as it touches you, it's lukewarm. You can feel the heat of the desert has kept this at a comfortable rate. And as you get closer and closer in, you sort of lose yourself. And you cannot tell where the water begins and you end.
18.
And you look up. And the water is obviously above you. You're swimming deeper into the water, deeper out into the horizon until you find yourself without a ceiling, without a floor, without walls around you, simply embraced by the ocean and the Gulf of the Claw around you. A star looks as if it's being pulled, tracking a tail behind it, falling like a comet as it stands in front of you. You feel, you throw your hand through it.
Yeah, I'll kind of touch it.
As you touch this orb, you're no longer in the water. The sound of waves crashing against the beach coast is clear. A salty wind breezing by, And you turn around and you see the dank and beautiful forests of your homeland.
Is there anyone around?
Where there looks to be like sort of an archway made of palm trees, you see Isahu standing there.
You're always there.
Well, who's to say I'm not waiting?
Why would you wait for someone who's dead?
We all pass on, don't we? So, leave it to me to be the one to escort you to our sleeping god.
Lead the way.
And you take a step towards the beach and you see Isahu smile, a very familiar toothy grin, but at the same time foreign, as if something about him is not himself. And with that one step, you hear a voice calling from the ocean. Is this the truth that you seek? Or will you answer to the call of your heart?
Turn around and look at the ocean.
And standing on the ocean, you see a woman, or the silhouette of one. Long, flowing white hair stretching so far into the horizon, disappearing. You see a very strong and firm body, looking as if though it has... Bless you.
All right, thanks.
As it's seen much battle, much training, you see scales lacing up her midriff, up her shoulders, and as you follow this trail up to their face, you simply see too much light to make out any sort of dignifying features. You hear a voice. Well, don't just stand there. Isn't this why you're here? You hear Isahu's voice as the woman reaches her hand out.
I suppose it is.
So, will you meet them? I will show you truth. I will show you who you really are.
I don't think that you know me.
No, but the God does.
And I'll grab her hand.
My child, something so much greater expects you. And as you touch her hand, you see this very familiar setting where there is a large, almost coliseum surrounding you. Very stark ivory pillars reaching up to clamber towards a ceiling that is flat. But as you look deeper into this building, there's a skylight cut out of the ceiling, and you see light drenching down through just a singular pillar where that same woman now stands. You walk closer. Everything surrounding you is dark and black as you get closer to this pillar of light. And before you step in it, you hear, Nerissa, did you die for nothing? Did you truly abandon our people? Will you abandon me?
No.
Don't step into the light, Nerissa.
By doing this, I am helping you.
It is a lie.
And what you say is the truth? When everything I've seen has told me the opposite? Isahu, you don't see. I do.
You feel a very cold chill set in. To the bone, you can feel it freezing. The light, the pillar itself starts to close in, smaller and smaller.
Oh.
And you find yourself on the beach, staring off into the turbulence of the magical storm that you once found yourself in. You're lying on the ground, hand stretched out to the sky. And something about you is different. Something about you has changed. As if you've seen a world that was not available before. You now have a very specific blessing. Known as a divinity, the Nature's Wrath, belonging to the Paladin, Oath of the Agents. You now have the ability to cast that once a day.
Sick.
Nice. She sits up, looks around. How far away is she from like the camp?
If you guys camped, I'd say the beach itself was probably like 40 feet out from the bank of the forest.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you probably camped closer to the forest itself.
Okay. Stand up and drenched, just start walking back to the camp.
Your hair's wet, falling down your body. It feels thick and solid. And you start walking back. You hear Kanua, "Oi, mates. Looks like grub is ready." And he comes and he's like holding in one arm on top of his shoulder, just like a really big pot that is obviously steaming. Like this thing is hot, and he brings it to you. And he slams it on the ground, and a sloshing stew splashes out. And you can see like the horse bones still spinning in the liquid. You can see chunks of like the horse meat and some vegetables. You see mushrooms, you see leeks and things like that. Something kept changing while I was making it. Something about this here. I expected a lot of flavor.
Yum.
So, and like he starts digging in his pack. Dig in, mates.
Will do. Break the horse bone and suck out the marrow.
Jesus.
Have I
yeah.
returned?
Yes,
I returned? Oh,
you
okay.
return as soon as you see this.
Okay.
And Connor was like, "Oi, there he is. Our resident survivalist. How are you? Safe?"
Oh yeah, we're doing great. Oh God, what is that smell?
"I still, mate. Feel free." And he's like reaching out a bowl.
Oh, all right. Well, no, I'll wait till everyone else has some, and then I'll get some.
Suit yourself. I don't know if that'd be enough. Eating with me. He grabs a bowl and he starts just kind of dishing in.
Uren just goes for it. Like he's not paying a whole lot of attention. He's still pretty enthralled by just the effect that the magic field has on his glyphs.
For sure. And you're just kind of like how someone walks with a cell phone, not
Yeah.
paying attention to the
Yes,
area around them.
exactly.
You're just kind of like casting, and you sort of like bump into Narissa as she's like walking towards the stew. And then you're just like, "Oh, hey." And you don't really notice like her hair or anything. Like she's been in the water. And so you're just getting ready. It smells good enough. It smells a lot like the stew that you guys cooked at the collection. The combine with the other messengers. You taste it, it's about the same, but as you're like looking at it, you do see like strange shapes wisping in, like there's just a series of spirals going throughout. It's almost the soup is just currently stirring itself, whether it's in your bowl or in the pot.
With some Uzumaki shit.
Do you think it's stirring itself in your stomach?
I don't like to think
That's a
about
good
that.
Do we feel it stirring itself in our stomachs?
It's nothing special. It's just more like when you know when you're like heavily digesting something, and it's like you drink a lot of liquid. That's you're just very aware of it.
Gotcha.
So the night's coming to a close. Was there anything you guys wanted to do before watches?
Just gonna keep staring out at the ocean.
Good.
Oh, actually, I was gonna go up to Kane. Hey, Kane.
A little distracted. Breaks away from looking out at the ocean.
You know, I gave you that short bow. I was just wondering. You want me to show you how to use it?
Sure. Hey, real quick. You just take a look out there in the ocean. You see anything?
And Ericid, as you look out into the ocean, it's a little hard to focus. Your eyes are still a little blurry as you stare at the ever-darkening horizon. But you could swear that it looks as if someone is standing on the water. And as soon as you make out the silhouette, that blur sets in heavy. And again, all you see is darkness. You're not sure what was there or not.
And I kind of rub my eyes, try to get rid of the blur in my eyes, but was that a person? Did you see a person out there?
I think a figure in dark robes standing out on top of the water.
Yeah, mate.
You saw
I've
it.
seen some.
though.
Well, I saw something. So if you're wondering if you're going crazy and you're seeing things, then the answer is no.
Okay.
I've seen some weird things as well. When I was out there in the wood, with Nanori, I saw some weird version, mutated version of a deer, and I think it started to speak to me in
What did it say?
some kind of language. I mean, I don't know what to make of all of this. It's just very strange. I don't have any suggestions about what to do. In that way, it's kind of frustrating because I kind of feel like helpless, like we're just waiting for something bad to happen to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, without a doubt, I know what you mean. I feel that way a lot.
Not to interrupt, but quickly, do we want to call this first watch?
Sure.
Oh, me and Kane?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Sure.
Should we
So-
make perception checks then?
I'll let you know.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
what did the
well,
deer...
as-
Fucking hell, what did the deer say to you? He said it said something?
you know, that's what was so weird about it, is it seemed like it was speaking multiple languages at the same time. And it was kind of difficult to make out. What I could make out was it said something about origin, something about fear, and I'm sorry, Aaron. What was the? It said like a sentence at the end.
What do you seek?
Oh yeah, and then it said, "What do you seek?"
Well, are you seeking while we're here in this forest?
And Ersid just kind of like looks out into the distance, thinking, lost in thought. I don't know. I didn't think that I would be seeking for something on this journey. But then again, I didn't really expect to be coming to the Green Elves. So, I mean, if I'm being honest with myself, I suppose there's somewhere in the back of my heart that I'm hoping that I can learn more about my father. At the same time, I never knew the bloke, so, it's never really been that big of a deal for me.
Yeah.
The way things were in Iscandia, that's no uncommon thing to happen. We travel from place to place doing trading and bargaining, just on our way to another field or wherever settlement that we're gonna have. They're always temporary, so that's just a part of Iscandian culture. We're very open with our romantic relationships. So it wasn't strange that my mother met someone while we were here in the Green Elves. I know other people who never knew their father or their mother.
Yeah.
So like I said, like I'm saying, like it's not like it was like a big part in my life. It wasn't like a big hole in my life that I was trying to figure out,
Right.
But now that I'm here, it just feels so strange, that it feels like we're here for this reason almost. Now it feels like for some reason out of the blue that I do need closure.
Perhaps a little bit of fate falling on you.
Perhaps.
Can I have you guys make dex checks to see how well? Well, Ersid, I want you to shoot the bow with intelligence. So keep your proficiency, but you're trying to teach him. And then Kane, I would still like you to use dex.
Okay.
With no
But
proficiency.
no proficiency.
Great. So I keep my proficiency, like my proficiency bonus.
Yes.
Okay, and I use that for intelligence.
Correct.
Okay. Ten.
10.
I got a 7.
You got a 7.
Yeah.
You guys are shooting into the wood and you guys are aiming at a specific tree, but with the way these trees are sort of reacting to this magic, it's really hard to pin down exactly where it is. And you can hear both of your arrows just into the bush behind them. And as you do, it's like you guys are just kind of both like, ah. Like you can kind of feel that in your head, and between the two of you, it's almost like Kane, you were thinking in Ersid's head, and Ersid, you were thinking in Kane's as you guys both felt this emotion. A strange connection between the two of you.
I just like imagine I'm holding my bow, but I just slowly look over at Kane.
Yeah, same.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know. Perhaps the bond of learning a new skill, plus never knowing our fathers, having traveled all around, maybe this place is connecting us through that as well.
You know, before tonight, I wasn't really worried about this, mutated magical place. That's just what I'm gonna call it. Seems like the best description for it. I wasn't really worried about it, but now that I'm here, I mean, this place is fucking weird, mate. Like, I don't know it feels kind of, I mean, it's beautiful, but don't you think it's also, do you feel kind of like in danger?
Yeah, generally
Go ahead and roll perception checks.
I feel pretty endangered. I'm not the most sturdy fellow.
But we'll get you there. And I slap him on the back. I rolled a natural 20.
Oh, nice.
Natural 20.
I got a 10.
You got a 10, and he slaps you on the back, and it's just like a very hard smack, and you're just kind of like, oh my god, like this guy's crazy. But like you can feel the kinship between the two of you, and like Ersid, as you turn to smack Kane, you kind of look off towards the camps, and you see the silhouette of a large body, and you start to look closer, and you see that it's Kanawa, and you can see the golden light of his eyes sort of staring at you. And as you look down his body, you can see that he's carrying someone and getting closer and closer to you guys as he's dragging his great club across the sands.
What the fuck?
Kane, look at Konoha. Look, do you see him?
Look over.
You see him. He's getting
So
closer.
he's walking towards us?
Yes.
He's carrying a person and his club?
Yes.
And I know that it's Konoha.
Yes. I think you guys can both see that it's Kanawa. You guys have decent dark vision.
Yeah.
Were his eyes gold before? I can't remember.
Yes.
They were gold before. Okay.
Like a goldish greenish, but right now they're hella gold.
Konoha,
Okay, so
what are you doing? It's our watch.
Yeah, it's my watch too.
For your camp.
Yeah.
Who you got there with you?
And he just kind of comes closer until he's finally like within about 15 feet of you guys. And he tosses this body in between you, and you hear the loud clinking of heavy armor against itself as this dead weight rolls across the beach. Looks like someone here has a problem with us.
Is it the finest?
And you look and you see the same obsidian black armor, just sort of like breastplate across this person, their bald head, definitely bludgeoned in by the weight of a what you presume to be a great club.
where did you find that bloke?
With a knife to branch his throat.
Is Branch okay?
Now he is.
Okay, well, that's good.
What the fuck do we make of this?
Well, I don't know if you've ever encountered these fellows before, but they're right cunts.
Yeah, it seems so. Coming up on a man in his sleep.
Yeah. Hence the reason we went around them.
Are you doing all right, Konoha?
And he kind of like stares at the body, and he takes his great club and he slams it into the ground and leaves it there. Yeah. Some real fucked up shit when someone tries to kill your friends. So am I doing all right? I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Well, he's dead now.
You think there's more of them coming out here?
Probably. There
Right
were.
now?
How did
There was a few of them we saw at the tree line.
So do we need
How-
to get out there?
Aaron? How far away was his camp from ours?
30 feet.
I wouldn't have heard someone. I mean, that's a fight if he's clubbing him over the head. So, I guess. Kanawa, when did this happen?
Want you to shooting arrows.
And nobody else woke up to you fighting him?
Wasn't a fight, mate. It was quick.
You just bopped him over the head.
Unawares. Come on.
Hey, Kanawa, why don't you take me back to where you first encountered him, and let me see if I can make out any kind of tracks that maybe I can see where he came from.
Well, best to be prepared here. And he grabs his great club, slings it across his shoulders, and he walks you across the beach. And he shows you just kind of a very unconscious branch just sprawled out on the ground under the stars, snout turned up, just kind of snoring away. So I found him. And then he kind of points in the general area, and you kind of see a scuffle of footprints rushing from what you assume to be kind of was like bedstay versus just a small amount of footprints that you can obviously tell are, you know, the boots of some heavy plate.
Huh. Can I see if maybe I can see which direction the finest old guy came from?
Yeah, roll survival.
18.
18. You sort of look around, and presumably it's just empty beach. You can see the sweeping of the sand that just comes from the wind that crosses every day. And very carefully, ever so slightly, you see a trail of what looks to be very strategically swept sand to cover up footprints leading back into the forest near in a northwest manner.
So I like crouch down and I like pick up the sand, you know, like all survivalists do. I like rub it in between my fingers, and I look up back at Kane and Kanawa and I say, well, it does look like he came from the northwest, just over there, I'd guess, between those trees.
So,
Is he dead?
he's quite dead. Look at him, mate. He doesn't have a skull.
His skull's caved in.
Oh,
Can I search this fellow?
Yeah, feel free. Go ahead and roll investigation. If you're trying to do it fast, if you're taking your time, then that just might use up the rest of your watch.
Okay. Fucking hell. Ooh, that's really good. That's a 20.
You looking for anything specific?
Not really. Maybe note. A note.
Let's
Or any like reason for why they're out here. If he's got it on his person.
like orders or...
Right.
All you find is a collection of knives, all black, just like the armor, very well made. You find about 4 of those on his person. However, he came light, no gold, no missives, nothing.
Okay. Well, I'll just take the knives then.
And he was wearing heavy plated armor.
Yes. However,
Okay.
upon your inspection, you can see that there are some areas where pieces of armor were strategically removed. No pauldrons, a lack of like double-sided armor, more just on the outside. No leg plate whatsoever besides the boots.
Trying to make himself more quiet. Okay.
Yeah. Well, this is really disconcerting. I mean, I knew that the finest were out here, but now we know that they know that we're here.
Right.
Do they now?
Well, presumably one of them did. He came to kill.
Right,
Stripped
but it just
down.
would make sense to me that this was a planned attempt at assassination. You know, like I just find it hard to believe that this guy who's like a forward scout or assassin type guy was just wandering and investigating, and then he came upon us, and then he decided to try and kill us.
Right. I
It
mean,
just seems to me that like this was a planned thing. Like they knew that we were here, and so they sent this guy.
2 groups of us, 2 fires, stew. It's not like we were being particularly quiet out here.
No, I'm just saying, mate, if I'm gonna send anyone out to protect my people, I would send him the same. I'm not sure if I'd send him a missive to kill. We don't have control over all our soldiers, do we?
Well, I feel like the finest definitely operate on a mode of command. I doubt one would just go rogue and do his own thing. Repercussions to deal with if he came back.
If he came back.
Right.
Well, he's not coming back.
No. Probably an unforeseen hiccup in his plan to run into you and a great club.
Maybe I'll just bottle some time, mate.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not... Are you guys wanting to go out there and find them? Bring the fight to them?
I mean, no. I think we're at quite a disadvantage. Let's assume that let's assume the best, right? Let's assume that they don't know that we're here, and that guy was just an aberration. Just like he just found us and just went after us. So if we follow his tracks, which I'm sure I could do, looking for them. I mean, we just have no idea how many there's going to be.
Right.
And if you're suggesting that just the 3 of us go,
No.
you mean waking up the whole party and going out looking for them?
Well, I'm not necessarily meaning presently either.
Oh, in the morning.
Yeah, just any time. Are we trying to deal with this inconvenience before we make our way through the forest and potentially have them come up behind us there? Or do we just try and ignore it? Hopefully we don't run into them at all. Or do we take the fight to them and deal with it before it becomes a bigger problem?
Kind of with squats. Well, if he can't report that he's seen any of us, it should buy us some time. And let's say we make it through the night. We find them in the morning for some reason. The forest got them. This place is about shit anyway.
Yeah.
I think that we finished the night. And I think that when we continue on our trek, if I see more signs of the finest, then perhaps we devise an ambush plan. But if I don't notice any signs, or we don't, then I think ultimately it would be best if we just avoided them.
Sure. Okay.
Aaron, do I remember when we first saw them, and then with the help of Connery, did we see how many, like what the number was with how many Arid's finest there are?
If I'm not mistaken, you saw a band of about 10.
Okay. There's
On
7 of
fire
us
rhinos.
Yes.
on rhinos.
There's 8 of you. Nonary is there as well. If you want to count Conira, then we'll call it 9.
Yeah, there's 7 people who can presumably fight.
All right.
Maybe Nanary's got some skills.
Maybe. Well, I think other than that, unless you two have some other kind of suggestion, Kanwa, I just want to say, hey, thank you for protecting us.
Well, we are here together, mate. So, safer we are, the safer you are, vice versa.
Well, to lend to that, perhaps we should stay in one camp now.
Sure. I'll be happy to do that.
You just stay on your side.
All right, mate. I'll stay on my side and draw a line there in the thicket here.
I will draw a line in the sand.
All right. Far be it from me to ignore something so formidable
As a line.
as a line
Yeah.
in the sand.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wouldn't be like you to cross the line now, would it?
No, it wouldn't, mate. Then he smiles. A very large grin and sort of winks at you guys. So, we'll let the others. We'll call it a night here.
Yeah.
Be safe. And he sort of sticks his hand to his head, salutes you as he heads back and just kind of starts sprucing up his camp. He kind of smacks Branch and starts kind of giving him the lowdown. You guys go back to the rest of the party and wake up. Both Narissa and Urin and Nonary. We'll switch watches.
As I go to sleep, I'm just going to continue looking out at the ocean.
You don't see anything. You close the latch to your tent. Now, I got a couple of things I want to do before we start your guys' watch.
Great.
Ersid,
Huh.
you're sleeping. Everything is quiet. The night sets in deep. You hear screams of terror outside. You rush out your tent and you see a very familiar landscape. Wide scaping fields. You can smell the scent of fresh flowers blooming. Pollen is stuck in the air, but the air is still. You see the many different tents and collectives of your tribe standing out there in the night. One of them, you see the tent open up as if someone is rushing inside. A trail of blood leading in.
You want me to
How do you
participate
react?
in this dream? Okay. Well, I'm like shaking and sweating. And I run towards that tent.
You run towards the tent. And as you get in, you see a candle lit. Dancing shadows go across the inside of the tent. And you see your mother, your brother, and your sister. All laughing jovially, having a good time. Your mother's making shadow puppets. They all look at you and smile. Well, Ersid, good to see you. Never hurts to stay up at night, does it?
No,
And you see
no, it doesn't.
your little brother. Hey, Sid. What's the best shadow
Lachlan.
puppet you can make?
I can do a butterfly. Ever seen a butterfly?
Of course, I've seen a butterfly, Sid. See them all the
Yeah,
time
but-
out here in these fields. And your little sister rushed by, and she's sort of like flapping her hands together, sort of kind of like when you make a bird signal with your hands, saying butterfly, butterfly, and just running around, and your mother pats her on the head. Oh, yeah? Well, I can make a wolf. Arr, arr. And he puts his hands together, and you can see him using a very. It's strange. Every once in a while, your brother seems to be blessed by nature. The elders always said this boy has potential, and just with a flick of his wrist, out of the shadows, a full wolf, not just the head, but like a full-bodied wolf, starts dancing around on the sides of the tent, being projected, and he smiles at you. And when he does, you look back. Your family's gone. It's just you and Lachlan. His eyes black, bloody tears drenching down them. Oh no, it's got me.
Lachlan.
Yes, it.
What's going on? What's wrong? I try to shake him.
And he smiles even wider. The blood from his eyes starts to drip onto your hands. Always so slow. Where were you?
Lachlan, I'm right here, mate. I'm right here. I'm right next to you.
Now you are. But where were you when this happened? Where were you when you let me go?
Lachlan, I was just in the other tent. I was sleeping. It was. But I'm here. I'm right here. I'm right next to you.
And so, what do you intend on doing? Are you gonna make them pay?
Who? You tell me who. You tell me who did this to you, and I'm gonna make them pay.
You know who. And he points out the tent. You can see it's already open. And standing there in the middle of the field is that same deer from the redolent wood. Its eyes staring deep holes into you. And you hear its voice. What do you seek?
I look at the deer, and I look back at Lachlan,
He's still pointing at the deer.
and I kind of scrunch my eyes, confused. And I look at the deer. Did you do this?
What do you hope you will find in the wood.
I want my brother. Do you have my brother? I swear to God, you have my brother.
Will you kill me? Or will you
That's
live in harmony with your mistakes? The deer steps closer, its moss falling off onto the ground, and every single time it touches the ground itself, it turns into a bloody mass of meat and flesh, stepping closer and closer. Kill or accept what you have done. Lachlan, behind you, is simply laughing hysterically. He points out of the tent and you see shadows dancing all around you. Your family, wolves, eagles, all screeching about you, circling and circling until the shadows close in and you see this deer. What do you seek?
peace.
Peace.
I just don't want to hurt anymore.
In slow motion as this deer makes its way in.
Please, please, I'm begging you. If he's not alive, then I can move past that. I can accept it. But if he is alive and he's not safe, I can't live with that.
You hear a voice, an unfamiliar voice. Then, what choice will you make? How do you think you will find him? The deer is stepping through one leg through this portal. Lachlan looks up at you, tugging on your robes. You look down and he's sinking into the ground in a puddle of his own blood, his black eyes staring at you. And you hear that voice again. What will you do?
I'll do anything. I'll travel any distance to find him.
So, and you hear the deer once more. Is that your choice? You can feel its eyes staring at you through this portal. And will you accept what is? And will you come? Or will you stay here?
I'll go with you if you take me to him.
And you step through the portal, and you are met with a blinding light. For the rest of the day, you have, or going on, you have gained access to the spell Protection from Evil and Good. And you can hold on to that, and you can cast it once a day.
That's just a part of my repertoire now.
For now.
Okay.
Moving on.
Nice.
What's going on with you two?
Wake up. She put her hair in a braid, so now she's taking it out. It's a little bit wavy from the ocean. It's nice and voluminous.
Like just as we're doing our watch, Urin probably does continue to like draw the sigils in the air, but he's like now taking notes on it just in his own little notebook.
So you keep drawing these sigils, and every once in a while they'll change, and you'll see in Draconic, a very old Draconic, something familiar to you. Words like grateful, words like dig, deep, words like fate. And one sticks out to you extremely clearly is bond. And Nonary comes up to you both, and he kind of looks at your sigils. So, Draconic, yes.
We can all read it, yes?
Yes. The wood elves, well, most elves, have a reverence, so to speak, to these creatures. And their old texts are what we have found. Well, all I can say is the calligraphy is quite beautiful. So I've made it a point to learn.
Yes, it is. It is rather easy on the eyes, isn't it? And he's just saying this as he continues, like taking notes, and yeah, it's starting to look like just a crazy conspiracy board, just like in his notebook,
In your
just like dig ? Bond with a lot of circles around it, and just like trying to make sense of all that.
And Nonary looks down. Interesting. I take it you don't plan on sharing these notes with anyone.
I mean, I don't see why not. If you can make any more sense of this than I can.
Well, I would be happy to. The question is, where to start? What exactly are you hoping to gain from your... And he kind of looks, and he looks at your notes. These sigils aren't yours.
No. Though to answer your first question, I confess I don't have an exact target in mind. It's a more pure scholarship, just that I've noticed something and I'm trying to make sense of it. You can empathize with that, I'm certain.
I certainly can. I respect you in your pursuit of knowledge. And he kind of just watches you. So, where did you study? Where did you learn all of this?
Same place as you, at Molithisu.
Did you study with the academy?
Not exactly. I wasn't granted access to the same courses and tutelage that most of the student body was, though I'd pick up just a private lesson here and there, sneak a peek at a couple of tomes in the library when no one was looking.
Well, self-taught it seems. I do see much talent here. I think the Academy would welcome you back with open arms. You show them something as interesting as this. These sigils are quite detailed.
Perhaps. And he just like punctuating just like as he completes the sigil.
So I will get back to my notes, please, if you need me.
Yes, I may compare yours to mine at some point.
That sounds like a worthy endeavor indeed.
I will start walking around, like circle, like slowly inward and then outward, as I'm partially like meditating, thinking, and also keeping an eye out. And I think she's just sort of like, what do you all think of this? The dragons, they come back. The magic is strange. We're seeing things, hearing things. Do you feel like something is building? Or is it just me?
Go ahead and roll perception checks. You too.
That's a 3.
I got a 13.
Good stuff, good stuff. And
2 in my head. I'm thinking so much about everything.
oh gosh, Narisha's question hangs in the air. Lonery's thinking as he writes through his book. He looks at you.
Truth be told, I'm still trying to figure out what I think of it. I mean, as I've put forth before, I'm excited at the prospect of dragons returning to the world, and as for all that's going on with the magic here, still unpacking that as we speak. But overall, I'm optimistic. I'm excited.
She kind of turns and looks at you and like looks at you. Like I feel like this is the first time that she's not just like glancing over you. She like looks in your eyes. I mean, in yourself. Do you not feel it? The way that this place changes it. The way that everything has been building up and changing. And she like kind of rubs her arm and you see the like glimmering opalescent energy just trail up it. Do you not feel it inside of you?
I imagine he does. I imagine being a sorcerer like he have it. Yeah, and he kind of looks at his own scales and probably sees a similar effect.
Roll a general charisma check.
Charisma. That's a 7.
It's a 7. And as you look, you kind of like tap a couple of them. And at that, you hear like a dull ringing of the sound of kind of like nails against rusty metal as a couple of your scales sort of shrivel and fall off.
He kind of clutches like where they fell off. Done like that. And that's the first time that's happened today. As
Yes.
I suppose I do feel it in myself, though not quite what I'd hoped to experience. And like he's like put his book down and he's like super concerned about that.
And you look back at your arm and where the scales fell off, it seems you already see new growth of copper.
Huh.
And Lonery looks around. Sometimes I feel like, as a scholar, you're on the outside looking in. Whatever it is you feel building is something I feel as though I am observing in the world, as if it can't reach me. For if I let it, I fear I may lose myself in my research, and not in the best of ways.
I
suppose we all have something like that. Change is violent. We see it all the time. Where I'm from, if you want to change something, you kill the person you want to change. That's how it works. If you want to be the new leader, you kill the leader. You be the new leader. The change is violent. It's bloody. We don't have this power for no reason. And she's like brushing through her hair, and as she does, she finds one strand that is white. She pulls it out. Strange things. Yes.
Strange things indeed. Very simplistic worldview as he sort of like looks off towards the sea. I appreciate your companionship, and I certainly hope I have done nothing that would make you want to change me.
Just don't challenge me and you're fine.
Duly noted.
And I will cast the little aura. What's it called? The like detect.
Oh, divine sense.
Divine sense. And I will walk around.
Read that to me again, just so I
It
know
detects
exactly.
fae, fiends, and undead within 60 feet of me.
60
So
feet.
I'm just making sure that there's nothing creepy like lurking around that I can sense.
No, you don't feel anything. As far as like presence, though, make a charisma check for me.
9.
9. It's all you're sort of lost in that same like that building of energy and emotion that's bubbling up in you. You can feel it in your throat, and it's really distracting you from focusing on the world around you. And so the fact that there is no inherent and obvious presence is enough for you to get back to your thoughts.
There are no fiends around. Rest easy.
That is heartening, though I do worry about how much else is in this forest. Even ignoring the magic, the Arad's finest and the giants are still out there. Would First Watch have told us about... Okay, yeah, we know about...
Yes.
They're getting uppity.
Yeah, there's someone came, presumably from Arad's finest.
Nothing fiendish about him.
No, not
No.
even undead, surprisingly.
No undead, nothing. He's clean. Nothing celestial either.
No.
Okay. Then I don't think. I'm just thinking, lost in thought, doing those little circles, walking around everyone, making sure that I don't ping anything as I go.
And you take your time, and you find yourselves heading back to your tents to catch what little left of your rest that you can. Kane, you awake with a start. You see in your tent nothing but darkness. You can see what seems to be the soft light of a fire nearby, going against the outside of your tent, that soft, effervescent orange light barely peeking in through the opening flap. And you focus and you see that light is not one but two. And it grows smaller and smaller until you see two golden beads staring at you from inside your tent. Darkness all around, blotting out whatever light was seeping in through the cloth. Kane.
That's my name.
You made a promise.
I did.
A promise without any foundation. leaves us both weak, weary, and prone to traitorous thoughts.
Come on. I'm a trustworthy guy.
I ask that you trust me. And in that shadow, you see widening a very stark white toothy grin.
Okay. And I don't not trust you.
Is that so? Well, and you feel a tap on your shoulder, and you look back, and it's Val. And you are looking outside the expanse of the beautiful city of Weisgard. The steeples and cathedrals all painted in that same silvery white, reflecting off the sun like snow on top of a mountain. You sit staring down at this city off the top of what seems to be a cathedral of a church. And she smiles at you. Well, can you believe it? We've got a lot of jobs off together.
Yeah. We're quite the dynamic duo, you and I.
Don't forget our partners here.
Well,
It's okay. We do most of the heavy lifting anyway.
yeah. I mean, I suppose we couldn't do it without them, but I think we'd give it a pretty good run if we didn't have them.
So why don't we? Run. We can do this together, yeah?
Anywhere.
Everywhere. Just you and me and whatever gold between us.
Yeah.
Drinks abound. The world is our oyster.
A life of true freedom. Anything we want.
I don't think you could do it, Kane.
Me?
You're too much of a mama's boy.
Come on. She'll be fine.
Without you,
Yeah. I mean, she's always...
it's not her I'm worried about, Kane. It's you.
Oh, I see.
What are you going to do when mama's not there to help you?
Well, I've got you.
And she smiles, that same fiendish grin she always does when she's excited. You can see the sun glinting off the tip of her very immaculate canines. And she kisses you on the cheek. And you hear the sound, a beautiful playing of a violin off in the distance. And you find yourself in the tavern, your mother playing. The whole crowd is in an uproar. Everyone's dancing and cheering, and you see her and she looks at you with the biggest smile that just emits a mother's love. She nods her head, and you find yourself on stage with her. Both playing, having a wonderful time. You see, at this point, you have women who are just, it's so hot in there. They're taking their clothes off. The men are taking their clothes off. They're just in like whatever they need to be comfortable in this happenstance of positivity.
Yeah.
And then it all stops. And you find yourself on a bed. Just you and your mother. Oh, well, Kane. Mr. Salinray, and she bops you on the nose. You remind me so much of your father.
I wish I maybe could have met him.
I mean, there's still time, yeah?
I just don't know where he is.
Neither do I.
And we move around so much, and
And so does your father, or at least he says.
Well, I would assume so. You know, us always moving, and you both happen to meet each other.
A tale as old as time, yeah. He does have a home now.
Where?
Vietnam. The rest of Sun Elves.
Vietnam.
Yeah. Beautiful place, he would always say.
Well, I mean, I am planning on leaving Weisgard.
And she looks off, and you can kind of see her eyes sparkle. And she kind of puts her hand on yours. I know. And I'm so excited to see what you'll become. Just be careful. And she looks at you. A tear drops from her eyes. And the pale moonlight sinks in from the window. In your other hand, as you get up, you find metal. A knife. And those same golden eyes staring at you from your left. Cain, you made a promise.
Yeah.
So, and as you touch this knife, it's no longer cold. It's heating up higher and higher. It begins to burn as you look down and you see fire tracing against your arm. Will you take the knife? Or, and you feel this heat growing, this flame tracing up your arm. Will you let the flame consume you? That same toothy smile envelops itself out of the shadow. Behind you, you feel the same pale moonlight, and you turn and you see yourself. No tattoos. Eyes, both of them. Without the look of a dragon. And a smile. Cain. Love yourself, mate. Stop running. Do you really need this? As you can feel the flames now taking up your whole left arm, your body begins to catch light. And they both at once. What will you choose? I can help you. You only need help me.
I look at the version, this mirrored self of me. I'm not running. You're not who I am. You're not who I aspire to be.
They frown. And they look back up, and it's your mother. You always were a rebel, weren't you? Cain. And as you hear this voice, your whole body is flaming. You feel your hand, the only thing left of you that isn't charred, burned, and turned to ash, holding on to your mother. Let go. The flame or the knife? And your mother grabs your hand tighter. I just hope you know that I love you. And I want you to be safe. You can feel the flame creeping down towards your wrist and towards her.
I love you too. And I want you to be safe. Then I let her hand go.
So, Cain, will it be the flame that takes you? with a blade.
I don't know. The flame is already consuming me.
And
Sunk hospitality.
indeed, it is my child. And the flame consumes you entirely, takes you to your fingertips, and you find yourself in bed, sweating, and your hand glowing with a blue flame dimming into your palm. You now can cast Burning Hands and Command once a day.
Burning hands. Fucking
Urin.
cool.
You wake up and someone is knocking at your tent. It opens and you find one of Aird's finest stepping in.
He immediately, like, kind of gets to his feet, like, as much as he can inside of a tent, and just kind of...
They put their hand out, which is limp and gray, and sort of wave it as in a way to tell you to sit down. And they find themselves near the end of your, kind of like your little bed. And they sit down cross-legged and they look at you. One eye completely missing. Half their head has been caved in, pushed in. You can see the cauterized blood scabbing all over. You can even start to see the semblances of carrion crawling all over their face. The other eye, white, completely, looks at you. And you hear a familiar voice. You have done well.
He does just kind of pause, not quite sure what to think, but thank you. It is my pleasure to serve.
It is my pleasure to have someone so devout, so headstrong. Urin, they know not what you're capable of. You know not what you're capable of. Their voice emanates the voice of a mother, the voice of someone very familiar. I'm very happy to see that you made it to Eliad. That same white, pale eye staring into you. And they reach out their hand.
Uran reaches out to meet it.
And as you do, you start to feel all of your scales coursing from your right arm, flaking, drying up, dying, re-emerging over and over again until they start to turn a very strange purple color. You look down and your arm starts to grow what looks to be orbs, green, like eyes, up and up. The body of Aird's finest smiles. I need you to find it.
To find what?
The source of my rebirth.
It's the source.
I know you can do it.
It is in Eliad?
That is where I found it, yes.
He looks like a little bewildered for a moment, and eventually just shakes it off and just kind of puts his other hand up to the corpse's hand. It will be done.
And as you bring that other hand, you see it draped in shadow. Pure darkness slowly climbing up your arm and into your heart, and you hear a voice that you've never heard before. Come to me.
Is it a masculine or a feminine voice?
Hard to say.
Who was that?
Ignore it. And you feel that same darkness tugging at you. You feel your shoulder almost pull back. You are much more than a slave. Let me speak through you. Let me show you the truth, what you've been searching for so long. Urenshi. And that same corpse, ignore it. It is not true. It is a lie. I will take care of you. You simply must find it.
He's gonna do as she says and do his best to ignore this new voice.
She. Gaze upon me, so that you may know the true origin of your power.
I think he's gonna stick to his guns. He's gonna do his best to resist.
And you feel a cold breath behind you, and you at that moment feel Conira in excitement, and she sort of flies in front of your face and looks, and you can feel her saying, almost as if like she's met like her, someone that she's always felt comfortable with. It's the most comfortable you've ever felt Conira, most excited you've ever felt Conira, and she is pointedly flying in the face of the corpse. And Conira looks at you and sort of cocks their head, sort of like a pet dog in confusion, and then looks over your shoulder.
And she's just looking like, do I get?
And at that point, she flies behind you, and you feel her presence slowly fading.
Okay, at that point, he will look behind him at what it is.
And you see no Conira. You see no tent. All you see is a mess of rocks, gray and pallid, under a sky with a sun, actual sun, dripping in white light like neon against a black canvas. In front of you is a skull, mouth raised, and coming out of the jaw, you see 5 pairs of eyes, all lit like white stars. Now, each bracing itself through the skull, through the teeth, through the mouth, up under the jaw, you see these 5 heads reach out, cloaked in shadow. They all surround you. Do you still choose lies? And we're going to call it a break right here.
Jesus.
Wow.
Mine was so easy. It's an easy choice. I know what I'm doing.
All right, what is poppin', you guys? We are back. Hopefully, you guys had a good break. We had a good break. I hope you stretched. You got to be aware of your body, even if you're just sitting down. I think it's a good idea to stretch. I only say that because I was stretching. Anyway, let's see how far our characters have stretched and, you know, have grown over this night with these very revealing dreams. Urin, you find yourself waking up in your bedroll, cold sweat dripping down your forehead. Connie was sitting on top of you with what seems to be a smile of both like, hey, I love you, but also I'm concerned, is the feeling that you start getting patterned through her. You wake up and your hand sort of hurts. The same hand you were grabbing the corpse with, who may or may not have been in your tent last night. As you take a look at it, you see that a few of those runes have been crossed and like almost burned into your knuckles, where scales once were. It looks like they fell off and died and have been replaced with those runes. And you read them and they read mind and body.
Uren got knuckle tats the same mind and body.
And you see one last signifier that roughly translates to beyond the grave. You now have the ability to cast Mind Sliver as a cantrip, Arms of Hadar, and Dissonant Whispers.
To figure out how to add those.
You'll probably just want to write them in, because I don't think you can add spells in. The soft sound of the shore breaking against the beach begins to wake everyone up. You exit your tents and find what seems to be a dreary, overcast day, as the Dreamer's flame is not in sight, blocked by the same roiling clouds you saw last night. Not nearly as dark as they were, but it's obvious they've created some sort of field of membrane that the outside world cannot penetrate through. Nonnery wakes up. He's early, taking notes. You see across the way, Kanua and the rest of his crew are packing up, and they're walking, and something about Kanua seems a little different. As he gets closer, and Airsid, you're the first to notice, his ears seem a little longer, and his horns, which at first seemed like an addition, now seem natural, as if they're truly growing out of his head. His scales even seem more organic than they did before, in much more natural patterns rather than the haphazardness that you met him with. Well, good morning all. Stretches and just kind of like leans back, his large frame sort of taking up all the space in view. So, we're going to jump on these, and he shoots snot out of his, what used to be his nose. It's fine this year. He's really this year.
Well, is that what we were doing?
I mean,
I think
we talked about it last night.
I think we were just gonna, keep on going, and if we spotted any sign of them, then maybe I'd proposed an ambush. But I think if we can go undetected, that's preferred.
Well, Mr. Survivalist, I'll be happy to leave it up to you then. So, we're going to jump on this morning. Lead the way, mate. Speaking of which, I'm not sure how you all feel, but it is little hard to get your horses through this thicket here. Are we leaving them? Should we just take it slow? Take it easy?
I don't know.
Well, if we take... Okay, so Aaron, if we take our horses... Well, we can't ride our horses through these woods, right? Didn't you say, like, the brush is too thick or something?
It would be hard as hell to ride your horses. You guys would be slow.
But if we
Okay.
leave them, they'll die.
Well,
And then who's gonna bring the shit back?
all right. What about you, your little Drake there?
I mean, that's how I know. These guys were, and he like pats him on the head. These guys were struggling. It wasn't exactly the easiest thing to get them through all of this. So any clearings we had, we would post them up and we'd research. However, we didn't have to fight, mate. We didn't have to deal with anything but those green elves here.
Right.
So we can walk with them, though?
I mean, should be easy enough. Just still gotta keep an eye on them, taking up space. This place seems safe here outside of the, well, and he points to the corpse of Arid's finest, which now is starting to have flies surround it, and its skin is starting to mottle. And it looks very strange. Upon closer inspection, it almost looks as if maybe another eye, nose, face might be protruding from the caved-in space of its head.
We should burn that.
Yeah, has it not like tried to reanimate or anything like?
It
they would in
doesn't seem
Badlands?
so.
Okay. Uren's gonna like inspect that new face.
You start to look closer and you really can, like, where the cranium has split, you see a fold of skin that sort of resembles lips and more folds that resemble closed eyelids, and the bones protruding start to form into what looks like a nose. Like, it looks like a wound but a face at the same time.
He's just kind of looking at it. That's cool. And he like grabs a stick and just kind of prods it idly.
And you aren't sure, but you swear as you make contact, one of these makeshift eyelids opens.
Okay. At that, he like drops the stick. Just, ah! Oh. Did any of you see that?
I don't think they were close enough.
I wasn't looking.
It's this thing's forehead wound looked at me.
Well, at that, I think that we should follow Earsed's plan and burn it.
We should burn it. Does anyone know any spells to burn things?
I do. I'm going to cast. What do I have? You know what, I'll cast Prestidigitation. I'll just grab like another stick and cast Prestidigitation to light it. But then I'll use Control Flames to.
Oh, wait,
So-
before you do that,
Yeah.
I want to take the armor off of him.
Oh, good call. But yeah, after he's had a chance to loot the corpse, and you looted it earlier just for other stuff, right?
Yeah, it did.
You got the knives. Ersid, you would simply have a breastplate.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
But yeah, after he's done that, I'll torch it.
Okay. And you set it aflame, and like it starts in a natural fire, but the fire starts to brim up. It turns green, it turns purple, and like only you can really surmise this, but that is unadulterated magic. Your powers seem to have changed ever so slightly as this corpse burns, and you can see this makeshift face in there begin to like gasp, and you all see it like look at you as it sort of begs for life and begins to shrivel up as it gets cauterized by the fire. And the fire is left to burn, smoke trailing into the sky. And after a moment, you hear a strong doom, doom. emerging from the forest nearby.
Shit.
Uh,
Well, real quick, Conwa, if we leave our horses here so that we can fucking move on, if we come back and they're dead, reimbursement, some drakes for us to ride back.
Counter proposal. What if we continue on? If we continue on foot, because I want to make all haste, especially with whatever that is coming towards us. Though, what were the names of his companions?
Branch and Ice Scale.
Yeah, but Branch and Ice Scale could take the horses back to the encampment, to the followers' encampment.
Wow. I'm not so sure. how I
Or
feel
even
about-
just one of
Yes,
them could. You can tie the horses all together in a row, and then just one person rides the front horse.
That's a great idea.
I mean, if you really want to lose all your horses, they'll take them back. I can just show you they'll be safe. And Nonary sort of speaks up. Well, but we do have this cart, and if we find anything of material value, it may be necessary. What if we can't carry it on our own backs? I mean, I understand.
No, you're right, Nonary.
How close is that? Those footprints are those whatever's approaching us.
Go ahead and roll survival.
Oh, that's gonna be an 18.
That's an 18. You can surmise that they're solid at least 10 miles away.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like right on top.
Yeah,
of
I
us.
was
It's
like, we need to go.
Hey, we should
No.
hash all
No
this out
rush.
later. But
Just
the
extremely
booms?
evident.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
So is that what we're gonna do?
But we do need to keep a cart because we need to hopefully find something out there so that we can win this fucking bet.
that's fair.
Unfortunately true.
Shit.
All right.
What if
Nonary,
Yeah.
Branch, and Frost Scale,
Ice Scale.
Ice Fang. You three will take up the rear with the cart. The rest of us will move forward through clearing a path. You three will stay with the horse and the cart and move on. The rest of the horses will stay here. If they die, so be it. You'll reimburse us with drakes. That's how we'll go about it.
Roll
Bing, bang,
persuasion.
boom. What?
Roll persuasion.
Okay.
And as you guys are seeing Kane talk, strangely enough, you can see he kind of opens his mouth and his teeth are a little sharper, and his skin, that sort of almost like radiant sort of complexion he has dulled, and all of his skin has become just a soft shade of gray.
Who's?
Kane's.
If we leave the horses here, they will meld with the magic and become something else.
It's 13.
I mean, I can't promise you drakes, mate. These are really the only ones we have, mate. Like, if they bring another shipment in from the moors, like, it's fine, but do you remember seeing any drakes at their sweet encampment there?
Can't say I do.
No. Red Gulch not home for drakes.
Maybe we can find some sort of assistance from the green elves.
Sure.
It's banking on the green elves allowing us to get in to Tomomori itself, I assume.
Yeah. Right. Okay. But is that settled? We'll take one horse, one cart, you three in the back, the rest of us moving forward.
I am happy to be behind you.
Great. Branch, Ice Fang.
They look at Kanawa, and Kanawa just is like, he shrugs. They shrug, and they start packing everything onto the cart. And they get their drakes, and they have them behind them.
Okay then.
So
All right, let's go.
All right. Ersid, can I have you make survival checks with advantage due to Kanawa having been here before?
Nice.
18.
18. Okay, awesome. You guys are making quick time. He's pointing out all kinds of like different, like, oh man, I saw that tree the other day. I mean, it was fine, but now it looks like, you see that it's all bulbous like a skull or some shit. He's like, I actually remember a couple of these deer, and he's just going off when he's talking. He's like, we're close. He expresses you guys are about 5 miles out. And Ersid, are you up in the trees? Or are you leading on foot?
No, I guess I would do that. I would go back to that as long as I can.
Okay, awesome. And you see off in the distance just streaks of red fur. Something large. It's bounding off these trees roughly 100 feet away, heading northeast as you guys are deeper in the wood, and it's bouncing off these trees. You see them swaying, and off in the distance you can hear the doom of the presumed giant, and it's a lot closer.
How fast is it moving?
The red creature?
Yeah.
Pretty fucking quick. You would guess somewhere between 60 and 100 feet per round, just to give you an idea.
Damn.
Oh, okay. Wait, so this red creature is large, and it's moving 60 to 100 feet per round?
Jumping through these trees.
And we can hear the giant way closer?
Way closer than it was this morning.
I stop like slicing through branches and put my head on the ground and see if I can tell what direction.
You can tell it's definitely due north.
Okay, and that's where we're heading?
You guys are on that same trajectory, yes.
If we keep going this direction, we'll run into that giant.
But don't we need to keep going this direction to run into the fucking elves?
Well, we're gonna veer off east a little bit, but generally, this is our heading.
Yeah, we have our heading. Let's keep fucking moving in it.
I like poke my head over the branch and I'm looking down at them. Well, it's up to you. Do you want to encounter a giant, or should we think of another way to go?
I feel
I
like
mean, at this point, we've lost so much time.
and ultimately, I don't think we can avoid the giants forever. Especially, and is there even another path that we can take? It may be inevitable.
Are you just scared to run into the green elves?
Ooh, me?
Yeah, you.
No. I'm excited to see them.
Alright, well, I just don't know why you want to keep changing fucking directions then.
I offered you a choice. I don't care. I didn't care if we go and we encounter a giant.
Alright.
I do, but we can continue going.
Who says we have to shout and bellow if we see this giant?
Well, we don't. We can go sneakily.
Sure.
And-
Sneakily in the same direction.
And we have
Right.
spoken of setting a trap for it. Is that looking any more amenable?
And as you guys are kind of going over this, you hear two big doom doom, and all of a sudden, like a screech, this strange, almost otherworldly howl that reminds you of like a howler monkey mixed with the scream of a dying person echoes throughout the wood as birds and other avian creatures take flight. You can hear as they fly out into the distance. You can see some of them, Airsid, as you peek above the canopy. And the smell of sulfur softly hits your noses.
Did it just kill something? Like a demon?
I look over. I don't think that this is a giant. Or at least there's more than just a giant.
All right.
Okay, everyone hide. Everyone hide!
Okay.
Right now?
Yeah.
I'll fucking jump in a bush.
Roll stealth, you
You're
guys.
Sure.
Assassin's Creed jump in the
If
bush.
you guys are hiding, feel free to roll stealth.
Okay. I guess I'll sneak behind a tree.
Fuck you. 9.
Good shit.
17.
Good shit.
14.
Okay, good. There's a
22.
22.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. You guys.
Oh, Uren, before, really quick, sorry.
Yeah.
Uren, you could cast invisibility on maybe the cart or the horse, or I don't know. I feel like you should use it.
Let me see if it even works on a cart.
I think it's a creature. If you wanted to do the cart, you'd
creature you
probably
touch,
have to
yeah.
like roll
Yeah.
to see if you could manage to do something like that.
We are in a magical place
It is true.
with magical charms.
Yeah, like I don't really, I can't cast it on the cart, so I think I'm gonna save it because I feel like things are about to go down here anyways.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And are you guys staying there, or are you guys trying to progress through the woods stealthily?
Who the fuck knows?
I was gonna keep going.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
not
said
like
hide.
too.
yeah, like if we can keep going, I think we keep going.
Okay, I'll let you guys
Yeah.
keep your stealth rolls. It'll slow you down just a little bit. And you guys push ever slowly through this wood, seeing all kinds of the strange effects that this world, that this magical storm is having upon the wood. And you see what seems to be just a set of footprints. It looks like a small battalion was here. You come upon the remnants of like a fire, an encampment. There's just random belongings just kind of strewn about, be them like bedrolls, pieces of tent, rations, things like that.
Was this the same direction that the footsteps were coming from last night? It said.
Aaron, was it? I feel like it was.
You can surmise, yeah. I mean, everything was coming from this northern direction.
Yeah. Yes, I think so. But there's nobody here at this little abandoned encampment?
No, it's very obvious to you that it looks like they've set out further north.
Okay.
Deeper we go.
Continue on.
Okay. You get closer and closer. You feel like you're getting very close, probably within a mile towards your destination, when the smell of sulfur begins to get stronger and stronger, so much that it's sickening, going up your nose. And Airsid, one of you guys' passive perceptions?
Mine's 17.
I know yours is.
I'm pretty sure it's like
I think I'm looking at a
Mine.
12,
12.
Mine's a whopping 11.
11.
It's probably lower than that.
Where is it?
You have a -5.
What? Huh?
You're missing an eye.
Oh my god.
Yeah, for a second there I was thinking, is like, do you have a 0 in wisdom?
Then my passive is 7.
10.
10. Okay, awesome.
Fucking
Airsid and Uren, you guys are looking off into the distance, and you kind of hear these small, like, bellows, and you start to see these large gray shapes milling about in the trees roughly 50 feet ahead of you.
Oh, fuck.
Surrounding them are bodies clad in black armor, slowly making their way through the forest. And Ersid, you can tell that they have their weapons drawn as they head closer north.
Why are they here too?
Okay, wait. So this scene that you're describing, that Ersid is seeing, does it look like these bodies clad in armor with weapons drawn are approaching these, you said, large gray shaped things?
They're definitely ahead of them.
They're ahead of them.
Yes.
Are these giants? Can I see them? Are they giants?
No, these are people. You can definitely tell that this is Arid's finest.
Oh, I see. But okay, so they're walking ahead of us in the direction that we're going. So
Yes.
they have their backs to us.
Yes.
How many are there?
You can see there are 5.
And about how fast are they moving? Kind of like the same speed that we are.
Yeah, it looks like they're also trying to be sneaky.
And have we continued to hear the thumps?
Yes.
Okay.
How many?
Okay, so
How many of the
there's
finest are
5.
there? 5.
Yes.
Okay, so
We could take them.
yeah, we could take them. I'm gonna peek my head over and try and get Urin's attention.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, enter your mind.
okay.
Can
Alright.
I have Urin? Will you roll me a D100?
A D100.
Oh my
I'm
god.
like, oh, that's exciting.
What is going on?
That is going to be a 41.
41. Let's see.
Oh my god.
Watch
it's
me
not gonna
burst
work.
into flames.
No, you're just gonna
die.
start speaking to me in like celestial or something.
So, as you reach out towards Ersid, you all feel a chill down your spine. Even these large gray horned creatures in front of you start to get unrestful, and they start jumping up, and you can hear just kind of making some noises. For you, Urin and Ersid, you can see Arid's finest. They're all kind of looking around. Some of them are grabbing your head as you all hear a very staunch ringing between all of you. But that's all that seems to happen.
Is it painful?
No,
Or
not so
annoying?
much. It's more consistent, almost as if a mosquito is buzzing around you, just and it'll pass, and you'll look around, and it's almost like you see shapes peeking in and out from behind the tree trunks.
And is this ringing coming more from our outside perception, or are we hearing it in our mind?
You'd be hard pressed to make a decision.
Okay.
Can I still talk to Urin?
Yes.
Yeah, Urin kind of shakes it off as best he can. And what is it?
Okay, there's 5 Arad's finest up there. I think that if we can maneuver to a position, they have their backs to us, and we all pick the same target, then if we can kill one of them in one blow, then it'll be a 4-on-7. I mean, that's just great odds, I think.
How many of their beasts?
There's one for each of them.
There-
Okay, they each have
Oh, there's
rhinoceros.
so there's 5. Oh, are they all riding it?
No, but they're around.
Okay, so there's 5 beasts.
And Monterey, he's like, is there any reason they obviously aren't concerned with us do we want to start a fight here? Especially with, and you start to hear doom, doom, doom coming closer. And you hear that same howling.
I think if we start the fight here, we're opening up.
A huge fucking can of worms.
Yes. I don't think it's wise. I'm not saying that Ered's finest doesn't deserve to die. I'm also not saying that they do. There's just a lot of things happening right now. And I think we just need to be wise about which of them we choose to stop.
Uren says in your mind, "Oh, well, I suppose if we wait much longer, the giant we're hearing and whatever creature we're smelling will probably make some decisions for us."
And will you roll another D100 for me?
Okay.
And while
like
that's
this.
happening, I'm just like, if they converge on them, that gives us the excuse
an
to
8.
that gives us the excuse to kill them.
Right.
They come into contact with the.
Evens or odds, my guy?
Evens or odd? Like, you want me to give you one? Odds.
We're gonna die instantly.
Odds. There's 7 of you guys.
Cool.
Okay.
What?
You're a bastard.
I don't know what you're doing, but don't.
With his borderline apology on his face.
What does this even mean? Yes,
Yeah,
there's
we
7
still-
of us.
He's rolling crazy shit on the wild magic table
He's
right now.
killing
We're
us
gonna get fucked up.
instantly.
Rocks fall, everyone dies. Darn.
Yep. Dang.
Rocks fall from the sky.
Yep.
9th level meteor
I
storm.
mean, considering like what's been happening in this area, I wouldn't be terribly surprised.
Woo-wee.
Fine, trees fall. Everyone dies.
The ground opens up and sucks us into the 9th layer of hell.
You become extremely focused. That ringing from previous is like silenced out. It's dulled, it's blurred, it's gone. You are so in the zone right now that you feel like you've never been this disciplined in your life. You are ready for anything.
Okay.
You are under the effects of the mind blank spell. Which I did think was going to be a bad thing. It's not.
It's not a bad thing.
No, I'll let you look it up. I don't want to declare.
Okay.
What's it called?
Mind blank.
That's like a for realsies spell.
It
Yeah,
is.
doesn't it like make people like they can't target your thoughts and they can't like scry on you and like you're just a mental fortress.
Yeah.
That's
Mind like a steel trap.
Mind like a steel trap.
while he's looking that up. Have the giant or the fiend gotten any closer?
At this point, you can see moving through the trees a very large humanoid creature. Its steps are so heavy, you begin to feel the ground like lurch beneath you with each step. You can see the trees behind it cracking and creaking as some of them fall to the ground. You see Ered's finest take their weapons out, and they're all looking at each other. This creature is just lobbing its way through this forest, and you see its head, and it's just this grotesque jumble of like a scowl with these jowls that drip heavily down, their nose like a witch protruding outwards all over, and their eyes heavy, seeming to be closed, and one like sort of opens as it walks further and begins to sort of jog almost towards northeast.
North. Okay, so it's not going. Sorry, I'm kind of gotta orient myself.
Yeah.
So,
I think we're going northwest, right?
You guys are going north.
Oh,
okay, so it's not going toward. Is it going towards the Rod's finest?
No.
Okay, they're just preparing themselves.
but does it appear as though that they can see this giant as well?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Is the fiend?
but they're not
northeast?
actively fighting it.
No.
Okay.
And they don't look like they want to, or they look like they want to?
They look like they're ready for something. They're starting to head out. They're starting to pick up speed.
Well, they're gonna try and fuck it up. Well,
Well,
we
they're
save
trying
it?
to pick up speed in the direction that they were traveling, not picking up speed in the direction of the giant, right?
I'd say both. I'd say both. I
Okay.
think that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that we should stay on the backside of Arad's finest. And if they get into a confrontation with the giant, then we have two options. We can pick them off while they're fighting the giant, or we can just dash and just try and get out of, like, past them.
sure, and make it to
Yeah.
the elves.
I like the first one. I like the first one, truth be told.
You want to kill them while they fight the giant?
Yes. I mean,
And then what if the giant is not privy to us, and he decides to kill us after?
well, let's see how the fight goes. Whoever wins wins the honor of fighting us and dying by our hands.
And you guys keep up and you start to keep pace with Eric's finest as they're charging. You make your way around these creatures. You see them, and these are like walking walls. They're gray, sort of like layered skin falling down in huge clumps surrounding their very large feet, at least, a foot in radius, just large circles. They look at you and they have the face of kind of like a bull, but just one large horn protruding from its snout, and they sort of back up and they flip their small tails at you, and you rush past and they start to make noise, and you see some of Eric's finest kind of look back, and they see you, Kane.
See your head like pop up as it goes down
As you're
behind
like
the
rushing, you're
bush.
like making a dip from one tree to another,
Your braid.
and you push past, and they say, "Hold there."
Hello.
Why are you telling us? And like, men, stop.
No, men don't stop.
Yeah, really. You don't need to stop for me. Just keep on keeping on.
Why are you following us?
That's not what I'm doing. I'm moving this way. You're moving that way.
Roll deception.
I'm like, come on.
How far apart are
You
they?
could do it.
How far are Eric's finest from Kane?
Yes.
About 30 feet.
Okay, here we go. Big roll here. It's gonna work.
They're just gonna be like, oh, of course, as you were.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh no.
9.
No.
9. And they look at you, and this one, he's sort of taller and just as stout as most Arid finest, but he seems a little skinnier than the rest of them, just a little. And he looks at his men, and he sort of like nods at you, and they clamor around to surround you, and you see they all have their maces drawn, others have flails. And then one steps up and pushes this man out the way, and they're wearing a helmet which has like horns protruding out the side, like a longhorn steer, with one horn poising down the middle. And you see through their visor. Well, what do we have here?
Just it's a traveling bard.
Okay, wait. Do I see this happening?
Yes, you guys all see this.
Okay, but the rest of us are hidden effectively.
Seemingly so.
I will say that Uren like tries to just speak in Kane's mind. But if he has the mind blank, I imagine that just
You
doesn't
I was
even work.
gonna say, I don't think it would work. That kind of sucks.
Let's see. Does it work?
Too focused.
I don't see why it wouldn't.
Oh, okay.
That being said, I need you to make another roll.
God
All right.
damn
All right,
it.
well, I'll just say what I say, and it's like, do you need help? Do we attack them? What do you need?
I don't
I
know.
maneuver now that they're facing Kane.
88.
88.
Now that Arad's finest are facing Kane, do they have their backs to the giant now?
Yes, they do.
And how far is the giant
The
from
giant,
Arad's fight?
you can tell. So if they're about, Aird's finest is a lot closer to you now, closing in on Kane, about 15 feet away. The giant's another like 40 feet away. And it's kind of making its way towards the east, and it's rushing. And that smell of sulfur is so strong.
I hit like Uren.
Yeah.
Point to myself.
Go into your minds.
Can't Ersid
This is
speak
great.
giant?
I love this.
Can't Ersid speak giant? Maybe he can tell it to get over here.
59.
That's what I was gonna. That's what I was gonna
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
I mean,
I'm gonna make my way over to the giant.
Okay.
You're gonna make your way over. So, are you like dashing, or like are you trying to go fast?
I mean, I am trying to go fast, but I don't want to draw the attention of. I want
Dashing
Arad's
doesn't break
finest.
stealth, so you can
Oh,
you
okay.
can go around, and if you dash twice, that'll give you 90 feet.
Yes. Well, yeah. So however, so it seems as though I can dash to the giant,
Yes,
right? Okay. Now I'm in the trees, right?
yes.
Okay.
So,
So I
then
want to
make
dash.
an athletics check if you're gonna be dashing through these trees.
Oh
Don't worry,
God.
I got you.
Don't
Yeah,
fall.
I'm excited to see like what the. I'm like thinking just like, oh, did I just doom us all? Did I give us all mind blank for?
Oh, dirty 20, guys.
Nice.
Okay,
Nice,
so you're
nice.
just hopping like straight Naruto style from branch to branch. And you rush up and you can see you're like near this giant shoulder and you can smell them. They stink. They smell like feces and old rotting compost and vegetation. And you get closer and you can see they have like gnarled hair tracing down their very large back. Their frame is taking up nearly 20 feet alone. A very portly, just round creature making its way, dragging its club.
Okay, so I'm going to say, I tried to look up a D&D giant dictionary. Okay. But I mean, Ersid knows giant, so I can't find the word that I'm looking for. But I thought it'd be cool. Okay, so I want to get up close to like face level,
Okay.
like close to its ear,
All right.
because I'm in the branch,
Okay.
and I want to say, friend, and
And
try and
turns
get it.
and it looks at you. And then it looks over towards the west. And you hear it just say, "No long tanto." As its voice booming, the Arid's finest speaking to you are just like, "I'm traveling bard, eh?" And they brandish a mace. They brandish a sword.
Okay. Just
Is
take it.
that so?
Take it easy. Yeah, it's so. I'll pull out my violin, play a little jig.
And Ersid, as you hear this giant yell, you clearly hear the phrase, "Leave me alone," as a giant streak of red, just fur, pummels down in between you and Arid's finest, hitting the ground, flame blazing in the air. I need you all to roll initiative.
What is happening?
Wait, so what was that?
God. I hate you.
Cool.
Oh my God.
Now, did anything happen from the times when I spoke to?
There are a couple of things happening.
Okay.
There are a couple of things happening.
Okay,
so
I'm
let me run
I'm
this
probably
here.
by you and Nonary.
Yeah, like we can, like.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay, so like we're in the bushes.
So we are not going to run this player side because there are a lot of features. So let me see. So
my
quite
God.
unceremoniously, we have our giant. Ersid, you're right up next to it, so we're gonna call that. We're gonna put all you guys in here, so we're gonna put you
It's going down, guys.
Yeah, it is.
This is what we've been waiting for.
about 10 feet down. And now we have Eric's finest. It's here.
Like, Oliver, how could you?
Huh. And slamming down and taking. I'll play that when it's time. Okay, Narissa, initiative.
4.
Good stuff.
21.
Good shit. Okay.
6.
Ersid.
17.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Oh, and we gotta put Kanawa in here.
Is that not who?
Yeah,
This
isn't
was?
that not
Like these
these
ones?
dudes?
Oh,
Like these
yeah,
were
no, that's fine.
3 that were
I
also
think you
on.
need nonnery.
So let's make this. Let's make this a nice scale. Rough. Oh, okay. As this, it looks like to you guys, it looks like a gorilla, a very like bigger than most gorillas. Like you took 2 silverbacks and fused them together. There
Like
are
a giant flaming gorilla.
almost, yeah, its hair is just raised with like red crimson fur. It's raised like as if like a scared dog almost all over its back. Its arms like 2 large barrels as they come in and slam on the ground right on top of this guy.
Guys, that's a demon.
That's a demon.
That's a
Oh,
demon.
this is a different. This is the red thing.
Yes, this is the red thing, and you can see under its red fur and it, emerging from its hands is like this strange bluish, almost oily skin. It looks at you all with like bloodshot eyes. Its tusks dipping out of its mouth, some of them broken, and it roars horrendously. Uren, you're first.
All right. I'm just going to send Kanira up to Kane,
Okay.
and I'm going to cast invisibility on him through her.
Okay, awesome. I need you to roll a D100, please.
Excellent.
Great.
I'm so excited. Let me just mark off the spell slot. 56.
56. So much shit is going on.
God.
Okay. So let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Looks good.
This is way too many.
This is too many people.
There's a
on the
lot going
board.
down. There's a lot going down. So we're just gonna take this in stride.
Yeah.
We're gonna just run. If initiative comes into play, it does. But randomly, we're looking at 8. So this guy right here, you see the world around him sort of like concussed, as if hit by like a sonic boom, and he's surrounded by like an almost translucent or almost transparent void of air. And he's looking around and he yells, but it sounds quiet. Next up, we have
Oh fuck.
okay. Kanawa, and you hear him screaming as like he grabs onto his head, and you can see him grabbing his head so hard that his hands are piercing in as he starts to take damage.
God.
Boy. Okay, and then I'm gonna roll a D100.
I just go.
Yeah, maybe I just keep casting spells from the shadows, and eventually all their heads will explode.
And then
All of our
you
heads
see
will
him.
explode, too.
He's screeching. He's freaking out. And then finally, he takes a second. He breathes. Oh, mate, I feel fucking great. Let's go. Next up, we have Ersid. What's up, man?
So does he move or anything, or?
He is. It's not his turn.
Oh, he just is reacting
Was
to that.
affected.
Okay, so what did the giant do after he said "leave me alone"?
He's swinging his club out in that general direction towards the battle.
Okay.
Oh, have they been hounding him?
Okay, I'm gonna try saying one more thing to him. I'm gonna say, please, friend, my friends are in danger, and there are evil people here.
Just the most simplest.
Are you trying to ask him to help you?
Friend
Roll
good,
persuasion.
people bad.
Roll high, man. Roll high.
Yeah, roll high.
I know. Even if you,
I wish I got that on camera because it really is.
even if he doesn't roll
Is
high,
this a nat 20?
like,
What's
they-
going on?
The giant doesn't
It's
see
a,
us.
it's a nat 20.
Okay. And he looks at you. Q. Fire for. As he rushes in towards towards the into the fray. Next up we have
Is that my turn?
is there anything you're trying to do? It's not. Yeah, we can
He starts rushing in, yeah.
because he's
Okay, so
starting to
the-
rush in. So is there anything else you're doing with your turn?
So the giant starts rushing towards the fiery gorilla.
Yes.
Okay, then I'm going to have this moment of jubilation. Yes! And then I'm going to shoot one of Arid's finest then. Can I shoot? I can shoot him from there.
Sure. Yeah. And you don't get. No, I still think cover affects you. Yeah.
Cover, what do you mean?
Cover. So I'll take care of it. Go ahead and roll. Which one are you shooting at? There's 5 in sort of like a half clock formation surrounding
Yeah.
Kane.
I can see them, I think. So
Okay.
is that big black creature that's the fiery
That's
fiend?
the gorilla because I don't have a gorilla.
That's fair. Okay, so then there's one just there's a gray one below it, and then there's like a brown bronzes one.
Yes.
I'm shooting the one that's closest to me. I can see.
Okay. Awesome. Go ahead and take a shot.
And so, am I an unseen
Yes.
attacker? So do I get advantage?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I'll give you sneak attack.
It should.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay. That is going to be 19.
That you shoot the arrow and it's whizzing past and through, and they rush towards this this gorilla creature as they're rushing in, and you're trying to make up for their movement, but they run right behind a tree, and the arrow sticks right into the bark. Anything else you can do with your turn?
Wow, I missed
At
with
19.
a 19.
Wow.
Cover.
Wow. Okay. Cover, I guess. It must be. Then I'm gonna move to a closer tree. Maybe if I can get to that tree that's closer to them.
Okay. You're just gonna use all your movement. How far are you
Yeah.
gonna go?
Yeah, as far as my movement allows.
Are you dashing?
Yes.
Okay, that's 60 feet. Okay. Awesome. So you're there in that close tree. You rush across the treetops, and you can see them all kind of taking a look towards this gorilla creature, while the one who's running takes a look at you, and they scream, "In the trees!"
No, no, no.
Oh,
If I
you're right.
miss, they don't see me.
They still know that something is shooting at them. They might not know your location, but that's enough for them to know that there's something in the trees.
Okay. All right.
So you're not revealed. You are still hidden.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Next up, we are going to Boom Bomb Diggity. Let's see. They are going to cast.
Great. Cool. As they should.
As they should. Where's my... Do you see? Anyway. In a 20-foot radius centered on Kane, I need you all to make a dex save.
That's everyone. I think.
Please. Please.
Yeah, that's everyone but Nonary.
Oh,
Sorry, I missed that. Do I need to make a deck save?
no, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
You're not on the
And
ground.
Air said, but I meant everyone on the ground.
Yeah.
Not Nonary.
Everyone who's not on it. There we go.
Dude, those were garbage.
Ooh, boy. Okay, that was bad. Okay, looks good. So everyone in this radius, you see as this gorilla hits its hands on the ground, boom, vines emerge all over the place. They're all gnarled, twisted, black, and covered in like some sort of strange slime. And if you did not beat, it looks like, well, if you didn't beat a 13, you are now restrained.
Okay, I am restrained.
I got 20.
Okay, awesome. You're fine. So you kind of like slash at the vines as they're coming up towards you, and you're invisible, right?
Yeah, if his spell took effect.
There's no reason for it not to.
Okay.
Okay. One random creature. Gotta love it. And honestly, this sucks. Evens or odds, my guy?
Honestly,
Evens.
this sucks. Cool.
Okay. Urin.
Oh no. Something good. Something good. Something good.
You see as these vines sort of twist and pull around you, they start to get cut up as a turbulent wind, almost like a small tornado made of like pink and red beams starts to flit about you. Keep an eye on that.
Will do.
Oh god.
Keep an eye on that.
Okay, next up we have these fools. They are... This one hits. They pull out their mace and they swing once, and they make a solid connection with this gorilla, who screams and roars in pain as they begin to take damage. And they're going to swing with their sword right after. And as it swings the sword, this gorilla like reaches out and just grabs their hand, squeezing hard. You can hear this person screaming. The other one is going to attack. Okay, and that is... Okay, they both hit. As they start, they take their mace and just swing bop bop twice right on top of its arm. This creature is taking loads of damage. Let's see. You see Branch and Ice Fang. They just begin.
What? They're just taking off?
What the fuck?
Wow, they can move.
They're zooming.
Is he taking opportunity attacks from any of these many people he passes?
Are Branch and Ice Peak are dipping?
You just call him Ice Pick?
They're running around. I mean, you see them. That's where they end their turn. They look pretty ready for something, but they're trying to get out the way. Let's see. And then Kanua, he just starts screaming and laughing maniacally as he rushes up towards this guy and takes himself a good old swing. And this fool, he hits the armor and they sort of brace everything. They're both arms up and they get pushed back, but you see that they don't seem to have taken any sort of damage to the armor. And Kanawa smiles. Oh, this is going to be good, guys.
Oh no.
Next up is, if you would move the giant for me. He can go 40. And since he's taking up, he's on 3 squares at a time.
5, 10. Is he going towards these guys?
He's going towards the gorilla.
Everyone's fucking up the gorilla.
Is he going to have to run through these guys?
He would have to run through these guys, but he can.
Well, that's a tree.
Okay.
Yeah, Erson's in the tree,
But he would have run past at the very least this dude.
Okay.
Wasn't my man's downing trees?
Yeah,
They're
that's what I was
stop
going to
him?
say. I
Yeah.
need everyone in his
Yeah.
vicinity to make a deck save, and that does include you, Ersid. As he comes rushing, he's swinging this great club wildly. And like, if you thought Conwell's club was a great club, this is just like half of a tree this guy is swinging around as it hits against this, the tree that you're on, Ersid, breaking its bows and knocking it off kilter. So yeah, make your deck save.
12.
12. Okay. You fall off this tree, and you happen to just barely catch yourself just on the boughs of the breaking branches, and you hit the ground as there is no more tree left to sustain you. It's breaking, it's falling over, and now it's causing difficult terrain on the traveled forest path. And I need, let's see. He swings his club down on top of this creature, hitting firmly. It's too enthralled with Aird's finest, and so it hits him down on the ground right over the head. You can feel his body crunch. You can hear ribs snapping inside of it as it screams and in horror. But it is still up. Next up, we have Kane.
You're now invisible.
Right. I'm gonna cast.
Now that will dispel
I was
the
gonna say,
invisibility.
if
Yeah.
you can't, if you cast something or attack, you will become uninvisible. Unfortunately.
Even any kind of spell?
Yeah.
This light, or this monkey's within 30 feet of me. Yeah. I'm gonna cast blight on it.
Okay, I need you to roll a D100, please.
Blight kills everyone.
Are those two creatures that I fell down next to? What are they?
They're Aird's finest,
Okay.
and they're looking. They both took a decent amount of damage from that giant running through them.
It's 40. Am I supposed to roll 2 of them?
Yeah, did you roll 2? Okay.
So 48.
Those 240s. Kind of wild.
Don't be bad.
Okay, you all see right next to Kane as he makes himself invisible. He casts blight on this creature and he swings his hand out, and a couple of his scales sort of like pop off of his body and start floating around, and you see a translucent image of the orb held in his hand as this greenish, nasty Icarus fluid shoots out towards this gorilla. But in its wake, it leaves a streak of flame. Right here. So keep an eye on that as the flame coils up and turns into an orb right in that area. Go ahead. Is that an attack roll or a save?
It's a
there's-
save for
you're-
you.
you're in a whirlwind.
Constitution 18.
Okay.
He's by a flame sphere.
Gonna be 18.
Yeah. Tell me it didn't.
Yeah, I can't lie to you. What's your damage?
I haven't rolled it yet.
Roll.
Can I borrow some d8s?
How many do you need?
8.
How many do you have?
2.
I got 2.
I
here.
got 3.
Just roll one more time, I guess.
Yeah.
How much does it do?
8d8.
Holy fuck.
So 7,
Yeah, it's strong. Blight's a strong spell.
5, 8, 1, 4, 2, 1. And a 6.
7, 5, 8, 1, 4, 2, 1.
6.
Okay.
That's 20. 7, 5, 8. So 28. Wait, 7, 5, 8, 2, 4, 8.
7, 5, 8, 1, 4,
30,
2,
34.
34?
Yeah.
1, 6.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, I'm gonna trust your 34 as you see this Icarus green spray heading straight towards this gorilla, and like all the trees and vines around like that are entangling you all begin to like die and wither as it crosses their path. And finally, this large gorilla, he lets go of these people and he claps on top of this magic as soon as he can and explodes into this spark as he yells. But it looks like he dissipated a lot of the magic and spread it out.
Bitch.
Okay, awesome. Narissa.
Am I still restrained?
Yes.
Can I do something? This might be a little weird, but we're in the wild magic zone, so I'm gonna try it.
Yes.
My Nature's Wrath, I can use my channel divinity to ensnare a foe. As an action, you can cause spectral vines to spring up. Can I grab the vines on me and get them to come off and go to someone else? The DC's really low. It's only 11. But if I could use my action to escape and like move the vines on to somebody else.
I'm gonna need you to make a spell casting check.
Please be good for once. 11?
11.
That's good for me.
You try to hamper the vines around you, but their magic is so strong that as you're trying to move them and you release the vines of your own, they simply grow out of the vines surrounding you and go towards the creature of your choice. They just are extended.
Okay.
Yeah. You can't break it.
I'll just go for this guy by Kanua.
Okay, awesome. It's a what kind of save?
It's a strength or dex. They get a pick.
They get the pick?
Yeah, it's kind of shitty. That's why I was hoping I can escape, because it's kind of not great. They get a pick, strength or dex, and it's only an 11.
I mean, just so you can have an idea of my thought process here, I simply needed you to break the original DC.
Oh, yeah. My spell casting is
And
only
it did
one.
not work. Okay. Yeah, and like the vines are reaching towards them and they see you as they're dealing with like Kanua, and they break one hand away from his great club and they slash down on the vines and they fall dead onto the ground. For being creative, I'll still let you try and break out.
Okay. I mean, I could have my bonus action use the end of my glaive to like try and rip them. Because I do get that bonus action.
Okay. I'll allow it.
Fucking 10.
Fuck.
I can't.
And you like stick the bottom of your glaive in and you pull, but these more vines sprout and start to wrap themselves around your glaive. You are still restrained. Anything else?
No, I can't do anything else.
Okay. Uren, what's up, man?
All right. So I am going to come around here. Set all my stuff down. I'm going to okay, so now that I can see that, so the tree fell over and like Airset was in it, but did something happen to that Arad's finest?
They both were hampered they were stomped on by the giants, so they both look damaged. They're kind of getting back up after being knocked silly by the foot of this giant creature, knocking them prone.
Oh, are they still prone?
Yeah.
Okay, they're still prone. Then I will just shoot at this guy.
Take a shot. There is cover.
Okay. It is this guy in cover.
By Kane, yes.
Okay. Then yeah, okay. Let's go. It's going to be a D10.
Hey, can you really quick, point to all of the characters in rapid succession and tell me who's who?
Yeah.
You got this.
Yeah. Uren, Nanari, Narissa,
Kanawa.
Kanawa, finest, Kanawa's buddies, finest, you, Giant, Gorilla, Kane, Kanira, and I think that's everyone.
Yep.
Wait, so I'll take a shot at that guy. That is a 22 to hit,
Okay, 22.
and that will do
Yeah, I'll say it hits. Which one are you going for?
this guy.
Okay, cool.
It's 22, and the damage will be it's 5. That is going to be 14 damage.
14 damage, and is this just Eldritch Blast?
Yes.
Okay, and it whizzes past in this black sort of shadowy form, and it hits them. You can see them like be knocked by this invisible force, the air coming out of them just, as they hunch over. Is there anything else you can do with your turn?
No, not at this range.
Okay, awesome. Then we're gonna call that good. And those like flying red and pink beams that are surrounding you, circling and circling, they all stiffen into blades made out of the air as they collapse upon you. I need you to make a dex save.
Oh, wow. All right. Dex save. Ooh, that's going to be an 8.
That's going to be an 8, and they do connect. You try to like dodge out of the way, but you're simply just throwing your arms into them as they start to cut you up, and you take 3 force damage.
Okay. That's not as bad as I thought it would be.
No, not at all. And then let me roll randomly. You guys don't see anything happen.
Great.
That's all I can say. But this creature, or this flaming sphere, it starts to broil and almost erupt.
I would say that, like, Kanira takes her turn after mine, and I would have gotten her away from that.
Go ahead and place her where you want to play her. Okay, awesome. And Kane, you turn around and you see this orb just dash into you as it moves through you. I need you to make I think it's a dex save.
Okay. $20.
20. Awesome. You take half damage. I can pull up said spell. Okay. And it rushes through you, and you happen to like kind of get out the way, but it does catch itself against you, and you take 3 fire damage. Okay, awesome. Next up, we're going to have Air Sid. What's going on, man?
Okay. Are both of those Arad's finest prone?
Yes.
Okay. Am I? It looks like I'm within 5 feet of one of them,
You are.
and not within 5 feet with the other.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, do I get advantage when they're prone?
You actually get disadvantage with
Well,
ranged
If you
weapon.
shoot, if you use a melee weapon, you do get advantage.
Oh. Okay. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Let me just check something. Okay, so I'm gonna take out my rapier
Okay.
and I'm gonna stab down on this guy who's prone in front of me.
Okay. Awesome. So are you putting away your bow, or are you just kind of like ditching it?
I guess I'd put it away.
Okay. Awesome. Looks
Does that take an action or something?
it takes your use your object interaction, so but I'm still gonna allow you to switch over. You just I think will say no bonus action.
Damn it.
If
That
you
sucks
drop
because
it, you can still have your bonus action.
Okay. Okay. So do I get disadvantage on the guy who's prone?
If you're shooting him, yes.
Okay. Damn it. That sucks. Okay, I'm gonna put my bow away. I'll put my bow away, use my bonus action to do that.
Okay.
And then I'm going to stab this guy with advantage.
Okay. You swiftly pull out your rapier, throw it up. You swivel it back so that way it's facing down, and you get a good stab with both hands. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
That is 24.
24 definitely hits.
Okay. And I get sneak attack with that. D8. Sorry, I think this is the first time I've ever used my rapier.
That's fair. It's the same as your longbow, just no range.
Right, okay, so that is that. Okay, 15 damage total.
15 damage total. Nice. As you drive it in, you can hear them just as the blade goes through their body, and like you can, it doesn't quite reach the ground, but you can tell you've got a deep hit through their armor. And they take 15 damage. And they're looking pretty messed up. They're actually going to make a roll on the massive damage table. And they seemingly fail. Let's see. All right, they're pretty messed up. You see them kind of like get up, and they're wobbling as they kind of face their mace at you, hands shaking. But that's all you see. Is there anything else you can do with your turn?
I think I've expended everything so far. Wait,
What's up?
does he end his turn within my range?
I mean, he hasn't started his turn.
Oh, he hasn't started his turn. Okay.
Yes.
Nope, that's it.
This creature sees the one in front of it that's kind of been like blocking his attacks. He looks at you, and he kind of assesses his situation. And he turns and he brings both arms up, claps them together, fists both merge as he brings down just this one combined pummel. And he's doing so fast, so quick and recklessly that this man does not have time to get out of the way. Ooh, yeah, that's not good. Okay, and he gets pummeled deep, and he brings his hands up again and brings another fist down.
Oh my god. Who's he doing this to?
One of Aerith's finest.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, awesome. He brings these fists down again, and this time as he hits him, he lets go and he grabs him and he squeezes him, and you can see his face. He's lurching, he's retching, blood is flying out of his mouth, and then he brings him in towards his maw, mouth agape, tusks ready to ravage this man. Right. It's a mess as he pulls him into his jaws and he bites down. You can hear this man's muffled screams as they are cut quickly and silent by his head being munched off by this creature. And then it begins to bite further and gnaw further down its body until finally it has swallowed this man whole.
So which one of those was that?
The one that you're pointing at, yes.
All right.
And it looks around and it starts to scream like maniacally. It's pounding on the ground. Rubble is flying up. You can see its fur starting to get lit with flame. Fire is sparking from it. Its eyes start to glow until finally it explodes in a ravaging light of flame. No one that is in the party is close enough to make this save. Let's see.
My giant friend.
And you see him and he's like swinging around. He yells, he's like, fire, fire, you hear Airsid. Everyone else hears the garbled tongue of giant. Ice Scale and Branch are blown away. You can see a lot of their clothes and robes are starting to catch flame. They're on the ground. They're trying to pat them out. And where there once was this large gorilla, the smoke dissipates and you see what looks to be carapace. It's almost insect-like as this creature emerges, pulling itself out of what looks to be this charred gorilla's corpse, ripping it off as this strange... let me see. Let me get a picture.
Me, like this in the fucking vines. Why is this happening?
As its fur just sort of falls off and it breaks out, and you see these two large hands, three phalanges to each, all with claws that look like actual blades, like the size of swords. It has a soft underbelly and a head that doesn't really disconnect from its body, sort of like a frog, but mixed with like the teeth of a shark. Its back has spines protruding out of it that begin to grow and grow until you see this strange, almost hedgehog-like beast staring out at you with death in its eyes. And that's where we're gonna call it today, guys.
Oh god.
What the fuck is that?
What the fuck is that? It's a demon. It died. It turned into another demon. It's a bag of wasps. You hit it, and it goes away, and it becomes a different bag of wasps.
And that's it for today, guys. Thank you guys for joining in. Hopefully, our characters can survive the next rendition of this battle. Hopefully, this creature doesn't prove to be too much for them to deal with. We'll see you guys next time on Under the Dreamer's Flame. Bye-bye.
So I guess a tree fell on Uren, and he was incapacitated for when I'm gone next week.
I think we can get him out. Riley alerted me mid-combat that he needed to leave at 4.
Okay.